What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a new knife review for you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, we got a new model here from a manufacturer that seems like they've really been stepping their game up. I have seen quite a few interesting models coming from them. I've even seen them doing some work for designers, which is really cool. What are we looking at today? We got a new knife here from Kansept. This is the REI. So what we're going to be doing today with the REI, guys, is we're going to do our size, profile, and weight. We're going to then jump into thoughts and impressions. Let's go ahead and kick it off with some size comparisons, guys. All right, guys, we got a couple of models on the table. We got the Vosteed Hedgehog and Ankylo on the table for this size comparison. And you can see this is definitely more a smaller EDC. It is going to be just right at or just below 4 fingers, depending on the size of your hand. Very gents looking knife too. Let's do a couple more size comparisons. All right, guys, we got the Manix 2 lightweight and Para 3 lightweight from Spyderco here on the table. And as you can see, REI definitely more close in size to the Para 3 lightweight, not quite as long or as roomy as that Manix 2 lightweight. So I'm going to use the smaller knives for the profile comparison, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so you can see probably closed up a little bit more why I say this is more on the smaller side. Very comparable to that Para 3 as far as length. A little bit more length than the Hedgehog, but the Hedgehog is truly right in that small category. Para 3 lightweight gives you more handle, so that it does feel very much like you can get a good purchase on it. Let's check out the thickness on the REI. Very similar here to your Para 3 lightweight, so nice thin profile going on, and that would mean it'd be just a little bit thinner, not much, but just a little bit thinner than your Hedgehog. Very, very close to the two of those. What's the weight on this one? Let's grab the scale and check it out. All right, we got the scale here, guys, coming in at 3.7 ounces just in. Not bad for a titanium knife that's a little bit longer than your Para 3 lightweight. I like the weight on that a ton. Let me go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions on this one, guys. So I really do like the detent on here. It feels very snappy. It's a shaker, not a guillotine. And it really feels very satisfying. Like they have really been dialing the detent in on their knives. Still not a big fan of their flipper tabs. I'd rather it be smaller with tighter jimping on there. I don't like the really big, overdone flipper tabs, but the thumb studs, they've really dialed that in. Ever since I've had it on my Convict, I've really felt like they've got that perfected. It's that bug out style type thumb stud. It's lipped and ramped, round, really good grip, bite, purchase, whatever you want to call it. It's got all of the above. You got some very interesting dimple on the actual handle here, and it is bronze. And during the cutting, it was very comfortable to hold. There was no bite. I'm able to get just under 4 fingers grip on there very confidently, good height to it. The blade felt very slicey during the cutting as well. It had nice bite on their 20 CV. The stonewash finish on here is very nice too. It resisted getting gunked up and gummed up too much when I was cutting through the tape. But as you can see, it's got a nice look to it. Their stonewash, they're doing very well. Very interesting bronze anode here. This is that lower voltage anode. And then they did the higher voltage anode on everything else, which means it's all titanium hardware. This here probably has more of a raw finish, and then this here has probably like a sanded finish on it, like a spray sand finish on it. That's why it looks a little bit darker. They're probably all the same voltage. They did scallop on the inside here to reduce the weight, which is really nice. I do appreciate that. That helps keep that weight down. And truth be told, you know, if it was just a skosh bigger, I'd be able to get 4 fingers easily on here. I wouldn't be hanging off the back. It'd be very comfortable. Um, I don't think losing the flipper tab would do anything for you, but just putting a little bit of jimping on here, truth be told, and sanding it down to be flush to that, I think that would be plenty. Like you would lose this much of the flipper tab, but you would gain that really tight jimping on there, which would really make this awesome, guys. Thumb studs, like I said, really good. Let's take a listen to the sounds really quick too. So good sounds. Lock bar access is good. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's bad. You can get in there pretty good to disengage the lock bar. You can lift up on it pretty good too. Thumb stud, I'm sorry, not the thumb stud, but the flipper tab on that pull does kind of connect with your index finger. So you may land right on the ramp. So you definitely want to make sure you squish into your finger a little bit so that doesn't happen. And then for the slide across, that's going to be kind of the same thing. Just make sure you're past the break for that detemp ball in order to shake it close, or if you just kind of like to close it with your fingers one-handed, it's going to be really easy to operate. Good bite here on the 20CV, as I mentioned before. Nice pinch grip on here. It is a little bit of a higher clip point, but if to me, I use the fat on my finger, on my palm rather, to get into that pinch grip, so I'm able to really get down to that tip very easily for detail work, tabletop cutting, draw cuts, things of that nature. And then you get pretty close out to that tip if you need to kind of control and make sure that you're not digging too far into a box or something like that when you're trying to open it. So I do appreciate that. And it is really thin. I was worried about the flat grind, and you did feel it a little bit going through that cardboard, kind of getting thick fast, but it's still cut and sliced very well. So to me, this would be a good EDC. Could flex into a gents carry. You could flex into date night with this one, and you could, occasionally take a full box and break it down for the recycling and not have any issues with it. But I think it's a very interesting design. I like that they are trying to do little things that are different here. The divots with the knurling don't really match too much. I think I would have liked to have just like 3 little dimples here and have this be the same type of finish that you see on the blade itself, or flip that and have this knurling pattern just go all the way through it, maybe not all the way up to the bolsters, but maybe like from here back, or maybe in the center, kind of like a gunstock type thing. That would be really cool. And I like that they tapped this for reversible. I hadn't actually tried that. Should work good with the thumb studs. It works good. Yep, you can definitely use this left-handed. Little bit on the lock bar. I'm trying to, maybe on the dimple. Yeah, if you land on the dimple, it does increase the lock bar tension. But to me, it's just, maybe if that pocket clip was reversed, I might be able to do it a little bit better. No, a little hard to do that, but just to, oops, it's slipping because I don't have a lot to grip onto. Yeah, there you go. But if you use the dimples, you can get it. And if you flipped that pocket clip, I think it would be, because the pocket clip has got a lot of traction on it with that texturing on there. So maybe I take back what I said earlier about the finish. But I think with the dimplings, like the 3 speed holes on there, it still give you something to kind of grip onto. And it's definitely very satisfying to deploy. Coming in at $169, very competitive with some of the stuff that you're seeing from Kaiser. I would say take a look at the Militaw, look at the Sparrow. From Vosteed, you could look at the Hedgehog if you want something smaller. If you want something bigger, you could look at the Kilo. I would say PSYOP is going to be, $100 more, so that's going to be out of the range of being competitive with this one. So that's something to take into consideration. But really, this competes to me with Kaiser. You're getting S45 or S35 yen on the Militaw with titanium and an inlay. With the Sparrow, you're getting all titanium and S35 yen. So very competitive options here, and competes very well with that more premium side of Kaiser. I don't know much about the performance of their 20CV. I don't think I saw anything on the heat treat either. Let me just take a peek real quick and see if they indicate by chance what they're treating it at. I know a lot of dealers have started to list that, but not over at Knife Center. Let's check over on Kansept's website themselves and see if maybe perhaps they're doing that. And if not, we can check over on Amazon by chance to see if they list it there. No, not listed. Not listed, and I'm not going to try to guess and misquote it. They got a very interesting lightning anode version of this over on Amazon. I'm just checking to see if they say what the 20 CVs heat treated at on Amazon. Okay, so they say the range is 58 to 62. So I would probably say you're looking at 60 to 62 for the uncoated version, and then for the coated version you're probably looking 58 to 60. It's just because when you have to reheat to apply the coating on there, it does lower the HRC. It softens the steel up a little bit. So I would say uncoated, you're probably safe looking 60 to 62, which for 20 CV is going to be pretty good as a performer. Let me know what you think about the REI down in the comments below. Yay or nay on this one? Do you have one? Do you like it? Do you like it enough to where you may go pick this one up, or you just found it interesting? On your way out, if you enjoyed, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along with the channel as we do reviews like this. A special shout out and thanks to the channel members out there. Your extra layer of loyal support is greatly appreciated, and it goes a long way with the channel. So thank you guys for that. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.